boys, another wrap-up video, another week down the drain. I'm telling you, what a week it's been. For Liverpool fans, it's been shithouse. For a lot of other guys, it's been a good week. Now, onto the Foxes wrap-up itself. It's been some crazy moves, been some big wins this week, but it's been pretty straightforward and typical. Not a lot of movement in the table, to be honest, except for one guy making big waves, but that's about it. So let's jump right into it. We'll find out who the winners are, who the losers are, who did some good shit, who did some bad shit, and get right down to it. Now, on to this week's winner, and it pains me every fucking time I have to say well done to this bloke, but well done, Whip It. 85 points, take a -4, makes you 81 for the week. Got him top of the table, held his place at the top of the table, made a bit of a gap between me and him, but a fucking great week. His team, not a bad looking team either. You know, Martinez, Dallas, Justin, Sufal, Fernandez, Sterling, Son, and Bamford all collecting points in what was a weird week in terms of results. So only 3 real blanks. You've got Wan-Bissaka, Madison, and Antonio that blanked, with his bench having Watkins on it, so really a 50-50 with Antonio and Watkins, you know, but Antonio should have done really a lot more. What they have, bloody Fulham, everybody, I think it was like 60% of the people captained Antonio, so, you know, he kind of blanked and fucked everybody pretty hard there, so, but a good week for young Whip. Even captain Son, so turned his 10 points into 20 points, which was a pretty good captain call in a week where most people had some fucking terrible captain calls. Considering last week, the crazy motherfucker captain Pereira and got fuck all. So taking a punt last week and doing well this week shows that he's pretty consistent and he's holding his top spot in the table. So another week down, another spot held at the top of the table. Can he hold it for a further week is the question. You know, he's pushing away a little bit. Me, Matt, Sean, he's kind of scraping away from us a little bit. It's making a bit of a gap. Can we rein him back in? Can we bring it in? I've got a plan. I've set it in motion. My last week's result was a good week. You know, my wild card was in place. Hopefully I can chase him down with the plan in place heading forward for 25 and 26. So let's see if he can keep this shit together or if he goes tumbling down the table. Next up in second place is myself. 76 points, playing a wild card. It's the start of my grand plan. You know how I've been telling you guys, hold on to your wild cards? Hold on to your wild cards till now. Now is the time to be playing those wild cards. We've got game week 25 with doubles. We've got game week 26 with doubles. We've got game week 24 with doubles. We've got game week 29 with blanks. Shit's gonna get crazy. Table's gonna get flipped around. So my advice is look ahead in the future and pre-plan your teams. That's what I've been doing. I'm not playing for 1 week, I'm playing for 3 weeks. Every 3 weeks is my setup. I'm planning for 3 weeks ahead. So make sure you're doing the same, otherwise you're gonna get yourself caught in a fucking hole when you come around to game week 27, 28, 29. You'll be fucked. Now onto my team. I had a pretty solid week. I only really had 2 blanks. 3 blanks really, if you include Antonio. But I had Wan-Bissaka, Dallas, Cresswell, and Martinez all getting points. Fernandez, Son, Gundogan, and Bamford all collecting points. I captained Antonio like a fucking idiot, and he got 2 points. So I doubled it to 4 when I should have really just stuck with my guns and captained Gundogan or Son, or even in this instance Fernandez. So, but Souček not getting any points, Grealish not getting any points. Most people are going to panic and think of throwing Grealish out of the fucking team because he hasn't scored in a few weeks. But think about it. They've got some fucking doubles coming up. And I mean, they've got like the most doubles coming up out of anybody. So holding on to Grealish now will benefit you in the future, I promise. So overall, a solid week for myself. The only disappointing part was I had Dominic Calvert-Lewin on the bench. I didn't back him. I didn't think he was going to get any goals against Man U. And to be honest, at halftime, I was fucking right. And then all of a sudden they capitulated and everything fell apart. So 12 points on my bench. I could have probably taken off Souček and put on Calvert-Lewin and that wouldn't have cost me anything, but sometimes you fuck up, you know, so take it on the chin, move on. But holding down second place, good second spot for the week, so holding down at second in the overall table. So those results seem to be stacking up, but consistency is building. So let's see who came up in third place. Now, up in third place for the week is Sean. It seems to be the top of the table, all played well together. And that was pretty much highlighted by most of our teams looking almost very similar. So, Sean, 74 points for the week, only one transfer. You know, the only people really blanking in your team, Grealish, Saka, Robertson, Antonio. It's the same kind of culprits. To be honest, you've gone a little bit more diverse. You've got Robertson, which I don't think anyone else has, and you've got Saka, which nobody else has anymore. He was on that streak for a while from, game week 15, 20, he was killing it, and now last 3 game weeks kind of blanking. So maybe Arsenal kind of fallen back in their ways a little bit. Everybody's kind of shut up about them coming back into the front. So overall though, not a bad game week. You have Kane on your bench, and he cost you 8 points. He had 8 points in that game, got himself a goal. I know he wasn't expected to play. He was out injured till last minute and came back in, so I can't hold you accountable for that. But you're in a good place to have him on your bench already for the next few weeks. They've got a few good game weeks coming up. You know, get past this week of Man City. You've got West Ham, Burnley, Crystal Palace. That's 3 solid games right there. So yeah, having Kane in that team, yeah, already without having to make any changes, that's a good little sign there. So building for the future. But overall, a solid game week. You made 1 transfer, and that was a good one really. Got out McGoldrick and brought in Bamford. So good change. I think Bamford got 8 points, 6 points to McGoldrick's 1. Yeah, 1 point. So brilliant change. Cost you no points, positive 5. So a good little win there. Another solid game week from Sean, holding on now to 3rd place on the table, I believe. So climbing up, doing well. Let's see if we can back it up for another week and continue the climb. Now we move on to the losers for the week. And can we have a moment of silence for my boy Sam? 38 points, taking bottom place on the table, sliding down for the last few weeks, and sure enough, he's hit rock bottom. Seeing that graph in a few weeks' time is going to be interesting. Watching him go from like mid-table, bottom table. So 38 points for the week though. Not a good week at all. De Gea, Chilwell, Stones, Tielemans, Grealish, Lacazette, Maupay, and Antonio all blanking and having Son on the bench. Don't know why he had Son on the bench against West Brom. Doesn't make much sense to me. I would have definitely had him on the field for someone. Probably Maupay, maybe Lacazette. You know, in terms of your midfield, probably Tielemans. Doesn't make much sense. So even Areola on the bench. You know, I know De Gea had a clean sheet at half-time. Wasn't his fault. Well, it was his fault that they fucked it all, but you know, he was doing well, so I won't hold you accountable for that. But man, you got to make some changes and get something going, because you're missing the big hitters in your team. You've got no Kane, you've got no Fernandes, you've got no Salah, you know, no Gundogan. Like, and I say Gundogan is a big hitter now. Like, he's cheap as fuck, but he's clean enough and gathering points. So you need to look for those guys that are in form and bring them in and get on them, rather than trying to keep going against the differentials and find yourself stranded down the bottom. So tough week down the bottom of the table. It's been a bit quiet this week in the chat as well. Let's see if we can turn it around for the next game week and make some changes and maybe take a punt and get off that bottom, because I definitely don't want to see you down the bottom of that table for the season. Now, the second to bottom for the week is Brett, the pontoon legend himself. You know, 48 points, not a good week. Was a good week on the weekend, but not a good week in terms of FPL. So 48 points, had a lot of blanks in his team as well. Madison, Cancelo, Souček, Lacazette, Antonio, and Wilson all blanking. You know, the only guys getting any points was Areola, Creswell, Fernandes, and Salah. Maybe throw Wan-Bissaka in there for the sake of it, but not a very good week. Finding yourself slipping down the table a bit. What are you down to now? 10th place in the table, so well and truly mid-table. Let's see if you can make some changes though. Like, you know, who cares, man? You're mid-table. Worst case scenario is you fall into the bottom half of the table. Best case scenario, you close the gap and maybe take top 6 or climb into the top 8 at least. So I want to see some crazy shit. I want to see some changes going on. I want to see a captain decision or something that's a bit more at left field. You know, like Wilson's out for like 6 to 8 weeks, and get him out of your team. Find a decent replacement. I want to see people jumping on Danny Ings, boys. I know he hasn't scored in the Prem for a while, but fuck me, he was on fire in the FA Cup. So let's see him get in there. And considering the only fucking striker in the league that's actually fit at the moment and scoring is Danny Ings. So go figure. Mr. Glass himself fucking holding together. So Liverpool made a mistake there, didn't they? So let's see if we're gonna make some changes, Brett. Get this team a little bit diversified and climb up that table a bit for the next few weeks. And in third to bottom is a boy that I haven't spoken about for a while. He was a perennial bottom 3 for many weeks, and lately he's kind of disappeared, and I've been singing his praises because he's been climbing up the mid-table. So to see him back in the bottom 3 is a bit of a slip up. Maybe stop taking fucking -8s to change his team every week, and now he's down to just a 1 transfer. Maybe he needs to keep going back to his old way and just keep transferring out everybody. Because, yeah, fuck, this week, not a great week from you. You know, Reese boy, 2 for Guida, 1 for Diaz, Suchek blanking, Tielemans blanking, Grealish blanking, Lacazette and Antonio both blanking. Not a solid week at all. On your bench, you had Watkins and Martinez both getting 9 points apiece. So, kind of stitched up a little bit. I see what you did. You went the Arsenal thinking they're going to beat Aston Villa. But as I keep telling you boys, Aston Villa's going to beat teams that come out and play against them. So if Aston Villa has some decent fixtures coming up, which they've got Brighton and then Leicester. Brighton, tough game. Leicester, they'll win. I'm going to say it. Because they're going to come out and try to play against them. And Aston Villa love to break between the lines. So back them against the big teams. Be a bit more conservative against the smaller teams. Alright? But yeah, I want to see you go back to the way you were for the last few weeks, Reese boy. Make some big calls. -4s, -8s, -12s. Do something fucking mental, because it was a good time seeing you. And racking up all those transfer negatives. If you didn't do them, you were like second in the table. But still, fucking do them again, man. Because it gives me entertainment seeing you come into the top 3 and climb back up that table. So let's see you. I want to get you out of that bottom 3. I don't want to see you there 2 weeks in a row. I don't want to see the slide going on again. So let's get back to it, and we'll hopefully talk about you in the top 3 next week. So let's do a quick wrap up of the winners for game week 23. Winners are Whippet, 81 points, myself, 76 points, and then Sean, 74 points. Player of the round this week is old mate Foden from Man City. Now, how many people are going to take the punt on him this week and bring him in, considering they've got a double game week? It's going to be interesting. I don't know if he's going to play. You know what it's like with Pep. You don't know who he's going to put in. Maybe this is the week you take a punt on Foden, put him in your team. He plays 2 games. Fucking hasn't played 2 games, I don't think, back-to-back ever. Plays 2 games, cleans up, and absolutely destroys it. Maybe he might be the Man City differential. Because everybody's going to have 3. So let's see how many people take a punt on him. Let's see how many people don't. It'll be interesting to see come next week. Now we move on to the round 23 losers for the week. And bottom of the pile is Sam, 38 points. Like I said, man, make some changes, do something different. I want to see you get out of that bottom. I don't want to see you down there. It's Miller's place. Miller belongs at the bottom. Come on, man. Can't be giving Miller free roam. So do something. Get out of there. Second to bottom, Brett, 48 points. You know, there was a 10-point gap between the two of you. But I don't want to see you down there, man. I want to see you change some shit up. I want to see you do something different. Same as you, Reese, in third to bottom at 51 points. I want to see you use both. Keep doing some crazy shit. Get yourselves off the bottom. Worst captain decision for the week, and that goes for pretty much anyone across the league, is Antonio. He got 2 points this week, boys, and he completely fucked a lot of teams up. So let's see if we can make a better captain choice this week, especially from the bottom 3. They did the same thing. A lot of them captained Antonio. So let's see if we can find a better captain, see if we can get some better results. And a final wrap up for the week is of the Foxes FPL table. Now, coming in top spot is Aiden, 1375. As I said, made a bit of a gap between first and everybody else. Me, second place, 1358. So close, but need a bit of a win to get up a bit further and catch that space back up between Aiden. So need to find a little differential, change something up slightly, make that gap back up. Third place, Sean, 1348, made a 10-point gap between me and him. So the top 3 and 4 are starting to slowly space out a bit. So before they were all congested in around about 10 points. Now there's a bit of a gap between each one of us. Matt in 4th place, 1341, so not far off of Sean. And then Mark in 5th place at 1332, so again not far off. And then Jack coming up in 6th place at 1305. Bit of a gap to make. He needs to make some big changes if he wants to break into that top 3, 4, 5. So let's see what he does and see if he can bridge that gap. Moving on to the mid-table, we've got Andrew at 1294, And then Blake at 12.92. Blake making big fucking waves, man. For a guy that couldn't get shit right at the beginning of the season, back into the season, or middle part anyway, he is absolutely cleaning up. So doing well there. What's that made it? 9th place is Tyler, 12.74. And then Brett, 12.67. Those guys are well and truly smack bang mid-table. They need to make some waves to break up to those top of spots. Prizes are going to be coming out soon, boys. I'm going to announce what the fuck we're doing. So keep in the game. Don't think just because where you are is that's it, I'm not playing anymore because I can't win. Because the prizes aren't just going to be for first. They're going to be scattered throughout the league, alright? I'm going to put on some fucking magic number bullshit. I'm going to put in a roulette. I'm going to make a video about it. I'm going to spin a wheel. See what fucking prizes are given out for what position, alright? Morgan 12.50 and then Jamie at 12.49 wraps out the mid-tables itself. So those guys are wrapped around each other pretty tight. So moving on to the bottom 5, we got Reese at 11.85. Now the gap between Reese and Jamie is quite big. But I want to see Reese, I want to see you make some big fucking swings, man. Because those guys in that mid-table have dips. They go through weeks of like, 1 week doing amazing, next week doing shit. So I want to see you take a punt. Because if you can catch them when you're there dipping and you're climbing, fuck man, you'll jump into that mid-table. Same as you, Luke. You've been a bit quiet for the last few weeks. You haven't been in the bottom. You've kind of turned it around. So you're back in that kind of solid bottom 4. Let's see you get... You're close with Reese, so you two are in the same conversation. Do something, get into that mid-table. Then your bottom 3 is Corey 11.68, Jake 11.67, and Sam at 11.61. So no big space between those 3. Bottom 3's real tight, so don't be the guy that finishes on the bottom, because if you are, you're going to be the inaugural Fox's FPL shit bloke. That's what I'm going to call it, the shit bloke. Alright, so biggest winner for the week, I couldn't really discern one because there was quite a lot of people that went up 1 place, but nobody went up anymore. And the biggest loser was my boy Sam, fallen 3 spots to hit rock bottom. So, let's see, next week Sam, I don't want to see you down there, man. I want to see you in the biggest winner category. I want to see you climbing some spots. There's 2 dudes within a couple of points of you, so you can easily make that space up. If you can make 20 points up on loot, you can even jump well up the table. So you could be well on your way, man. You're riding that wave to the promised land. Or fucking sinking deeper into that black hole. As for Whippet, I'm coming for you. I'm gonna get you, man. I've got a 3-week plan. 2 more weeks down to go. I'm gonna catch you in these 2 weeks, man. Next week, it's gonna be a big swing. I see it coming, man. I'm coming for top spot. If I haven't done it by game week 28, it's probably not gonna happen, let's be honest. So, good week, boys. And yeah, I hope everybody's got their teams locked in because transfer is going to be wrapping up in about 24 hours. I'm filming this video on Friday night, so it's going to be wrapped up pretty soon. So, make sure you give it a like. Give me a fucking comment, you mouth-breathing gits. Fucking subscribe if you haven't, you fucks. Seriously, it helps me out, makes me feel good when a fucking little tick pops up. So do something for a brother, help a brother out, put a bit of time and effort into this shit. God damn, give me a like, man. Fuck, that's all I ask. But yeah, if not, I'll talk to you guys in the fucking group chat when you all fucking fail and I'm top spot. Peace!